Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. You are stuck in this constant loop where your sadness leads to more sadness and it feels ever more impossible to break out of this cycle. But imagine a life where pain no longer holds you captive. Stay with me because by the end of this video, I'll give you the mindset shift you need to transform your struggles into your strengths. When you are sad, you yearn to feel happy, but happiness feels like a fleeting emotion ever out of reach. Why is that? You see, sadness is a state of low energy, and on the flip side, happiness is a state of high energy. So when you are sad, you'd rather remain sad because you're so devoid of energy that it feels impossible to get out of bed, let alone do anything else to change your state. You've consumed enough self-help videos to know what makes you happy. Meditation, journaling, talking to someone you love, sunlight exposure, whatever and whatnot. But the thing is, these actions require energy, a commodity that you lack right now. And so you would much rather remain sad, as it is infinitely easier to maintain this state of being than try to change it. Pain is a universal experience. We all face it. But suffering is the story we tell ourselves about our pain. Suffering is a state of mind. You might think, how can I not suffer when I'm in pain? The answer lies in understanding that while pain is an event, suffering is your reaction. When you start accepting pain as a part of your journey and refuse to let it define you, you start to break this cycle of suffering. But how do you shift your mindset to stop suffering and start living? Here's the thing. Your mind is more powerful than you think. It helps you achieve the reality that you identify with. The longer you have suffered, the more your brain believes that suffering is a part of your narrative. So it helps you keep your identity intact by allowing you to remain unhappy. Though you might crave happiness, achieving it goes against who you identify yourself as. The way you perceive pain can either imprison you or set you free. When you dwell on pain, replaying it over and over in your head, you feed into suffering. But when you choose to focus on the lessons the pain brings and how it can make you stronger, something magnificent happens. You start to heal. This does not mean ignoring your pain. This means acknowledging it, accepting it, and understanding that it is as much a part of your journey as joy. Think of pain as a storm. You can't stop the storm. You can't choose when it happens, but you can choose how you respond to it. Here's how to take control of your narrative, change the story you tell yourself, and transform your struggles into your strengths. It starts with this realization that only you have the power to change your story. Every moment you spend suffering is a moment you delay healing. The first step is awareness, recognizing that you're slipping into this cycle of suffering. The next step is action, no matter how small. Remember what I said about sadness being a state of low energy? How do you break out of this state? And how do you regain your energy levels? Certainly not by laying in bed, staring at the ceiling and listening to Radiohead all day. I'm guilty of doing that. But what I realized through my own sadness is that action, no matter how small, is the only way to break this plateau of low energy. Meditation, journaling, therapy, whatever you choose to do is what will help you climb out of this state of sorrow. Because the longer you stay there, the longer you will stay there. Realize that your good and bad, your achievements and failures, and your strengths and struggles are all unique like your fingerprint. All of them together create and shape the person you become. You cannot choose to remove all the sadness and focus only on the joy. That's not how life works. It's not about erasing your pain, but about transforming it. Every emotion has a story. What is your pain trying to tell you? Accept it as a part of your journey and accept it as a teacher. What strengths can you gain from your struggles? Every time you choose to rise above your pain, you regain a part of your power. Do you understand? Only you have the power to change your narrative and break out of this cycle of low energy, feeding into even lower energy. Pain is real, trauma is real. That's not something that anyone can discount, but suffering is a choice that you make to remain in your sorrow. It's an excuse to stop living and wallow in your sadness. By shifting your mindset and accepting your pain as a part of you just as much as joy, and taking proactive steps towards healing, you can break out of this cycle of negativity and constant low energy. Again, only you have the power to turn your struggles into your strengths. So what will you choose today?